To start off on the game, let's delete that one first. Then we are going to have three characters. The first one will be a crab. Let's look for a crab there. Then the size of the crab will be 50, so we change the size to 50 there. The next one will be, we will look for food or something the crab can eat, so we'll use a starfish. So we look for a starfish, change the size of the starfish to 50, change it to 50. Then the next one will be what we'll use as enemy, so we'll also change this one to food so that we know. Then what we'll use as the enemy for the game, whatever will be taking the life, so I will use a puffer fish, that one there. Also the size of the puffer fish will be 50, that way. Then for the backdrop or the home, we will use a underwater, so we look for underwater there. Then we click let's use underwater one there. There. Now let's start with the codes for the crab and how to operate it. Then we go for the codes for other thing. So before we put the codes for the crab, we will need three variables that we'll use. So you go to variables here, variables, then click make a variable. We'll have a variable called score. So we'll have score in our game, their score. Then we make another variable called speed. We'll have speed in our game. Then we make the last variable called life. We will have three of them in our game. Now, the codes for the crab. Before we go to put the codes for the crab, we will go to costume. Then we have two crabs there in costume. We are going to duplicate the first one, or duplicate any. We'll need three of them like that. So the first one will change the name to normal. Just call it normal there. The second one we'll call it left, and the last one we'll call it right, like that. Now the one that is going on to the left side, we will highlight all of it, ensure this is the one that is selected. We highlight all of it, then we switch it to face the left side like that. Then the one face for the right, we highlight all of it like that, then switch it to face the right side. So we'll have normal, left and right. Then let's go to code, then I'll show you why we need it that way. Now the first one will be when green flag is clicked. Okay, when we click the green flag, this is what's supposed to happen, because the green flag is this one, is the one that will initiate or start the game. So when green flag is clicked, we want it to show up. So we go to look, we put a show, because there is a place we'll put hide. So we'll start with show. The crab will show up. Then in motion, go to motion and pick, go to X, this one, go to X 17 and Y 165, but what we want is X to be 0. 0 means it will be down here, because we want it to be down there. Then Y will use a negative 168, negative 168. So now when I press the green flag, the crab will always go down there. When it's, even if it's up there, when I press, it will go down there. Then the next one will be in control. We pick forever, because we want our game to go on without an end. So you pick the forever block. Then the following blocks, we'll use them inside forever, because we want it to work inside forever. Now the first one will be, we'll use a if then else, if then else, if then, not if then else. We'll use if then. We will need two of them for now. Just use two of them, one and the second one. Then we'll go to sensing and pick a key. We'll use the key right arrow and left arrow. As here it's written, right and left and right is X. So we will go and pick key, that one, then change that one to right arrow. So it reads key right arrow press 10. Then the bottom one is also the same thing for the left arrow. So key left arrow press 10. So the right and left arrow key of your keyboard, so that the crab can move down here left and right like that. So now the next one will be change X. So in motion, you go to motion and pick change X by, let's use 7. So negative 7, no 7, that one will be 7, change X by 7. Then down there will be change X by negative 7. You can use 10 or any number. The bigger the number, the faster it will move. Then when I press the green flag, there, I'm able to move it left and right, left and right. But now I want it to face that side. I want it to face that side as it moves to that side. So I'll go to looks and pick switch costume to the right. Remember, we have this costume here, costume 1 written left, right, and a normal costume. So switch costume to the right, then again switch costume to the left, just like that. Switch costume to the right and switch costume to the left. Now when you press the green flag, it goes that side, then it can go that side. But now it doesn't look normal because we want it to face up as it waits for its food and avoids the enemy. So you will put inside forever, put switch costume to normal. So every time it should be normal. Also change this one to enemy. Don't know why it's written power fish. This one should be enemy, so I'll change it to enemy because they are the enemy in the game. Good. So when you have switch costume to normal inside forever, it's there above forever there. So forever is a loop. Normal will be the main thing that will be happening unless you click the right or left arrow. So there, it goes normal. Whatever you do, it's able to face up. When you let go, it faces up. When you let go, it faces up. So that is those are the first codes for the crab to be able to move around. Then we move to the next one, the food. Now we need the food to fall from the top at random places so that the crab can wait for it and grab it. So for that to happen, we are going to put the codes for our food or whatever will be eaten by the crab. Now the first one will be when green flag is clicked. This one starts the program when green flag is clicked. The next one will be in motion, go to X and Y. Then X will be negative 180, and Y will be 180. There, remember X and Y is up and down. So from negative 180 to 180, we want it to work on that area. Then the next one will be in control, you pick forever. Then inside forever, we are going to have two if then that will work on different things. So the first if then will be, we will have math, go to operators and pick math, the one with less than, this one, less than 50. Then it will read if whatever will happen there will be less than the number that will be there, then you take a particular action. So the number that will be here will be negative 135. So what we are going to change is Y position, the Y position. So go to motion and pick Y position. So if the Y position is less than negative 135, it means that it is somewhere down here. It has passed down here, Y position. Negative 135, it means it's below there. So if it has reached negative 135, which means it's below this line here, what is supposed to happen? It will hide and appear again at the top. That is the idea you want. So you go to looks, you pick hide, because you want it to hide and appear again. Then go to control, pick wait 1 second. Then inside 1 second, you go to operators, then pick random between 1 to 3 seconds, depending on how long you want the food to appear. So it will choose on its own how long you want it to take before the food appears, or the starfish. Then show. After show, go to X in motion, go to motion, go to X is the one you are going to put down there. Go to X, then pick random, there, pick random, negative 190, 190 to 200. That is for X. Remember, X is left and right, so you want it to fall anywhere between there and there, to fall down in that space. So it will pick randomly where it wants, and Y is 180. That is there. Then we need another if then for conditions. We need to have scores if it touches the crab. So if it is falling and you touch it, you need scores. For that to happen, you go to if then. So if then is there. Then if touching, go to sensing and pick touching, that one. If it is touching the crab, then remember you're supposed to get a score. That is the whole idea. You get a score, then it appears again for you to look for it again and get a score. So if it touches the crab, the first thing it will hide, so that you know it has made contact. It will hide. Then go to, that is in looks, then go to variable and pick change score. You will be changing the score by 1 so far. So change score by 1. Then the same thing, wait and pick random. This one is the one we are going to put. So you go to control, put wait 1 second down there. Then go to operators, pick random 1 to 3, because you want it to use 1 to 3 seconds, whichever it wants to appear, so that it can challenge you a bit. Then go to looks and put show, so that it can show up after that has happened. Then go to sensing, not sensing, in motion. Then pick, go to X, that one, not in 1 second. Go to X, where is it? Yeah, this one. Go to X, then pick random in operators, pick random. It is just the same thing. Negative 190 to negative 190, then to 200. Then Y is 180. Y is 180. Remember, 180 is up here, so you want it to appear somewhere up here to fall down. Pick random 190, 200. 190 is somewhere here, 200 is somewhere there, so that it can be falling down anywhere through that gap. So let's see. When you press the green flag, that goes down there. Then it doesn't fall for now. It is just stuck somewhere up there. It's not falling because of, let's work on the speed. So we want to change. Y is up and down. So you go to motion and pick change Y. Change Y, put it here in forever. There, you're putting it up there in forever. Change Y by, go to variable and pick speed. Change Y by speed. That is one of the things that we'll put there. Change Y by speed. Now, in order to make it work fully, we are going to code some things in our backdrop, so that we are able to make it work how we want it to work. So for now, we will go to our backdrop, and code some things in the backdrop to give speed, meaning, and the other things. So we click the backdrop down here, click this one here, the picture of the backdrop here, click the backdrop. Then the backdrop will have, remember we have clicked here in the backdrop, here this picture. In the backdrop, you'll have when green flag is clicked as the first one. Let me zoom it. When green flag is clicked as the first one, then we will set in variable, we will set the lives to 3 so that you can start with 3 life. Then we will set score to 0. Then we will set speed to -5. Then we will have in control, we'll have forever, because we want our game to go on without an end as a loop. So forever. Then go to variable pick, change speed, because we want the speed, not score, speed of the falling food to be changing by -0.2. And then you wait 1 second. You wait 1 second. You can put as much seconds as you want, depending on how long you want that speed to be changing. So you can pay attention to the speed. Let me move lives up there. So when I click green flag, the lives are 3. The speed is increasing. As you can see, I have no score and the food is appearing at random places. So I'm able to look for it using a, let me start again, using, when I touch it, I get a score, it disappears. When I touch it, I get a score. You see my score is going up, and it is, but when it gets down, now I won't touch it. When it misses and goes down, it disappears and appears again. It will do that as much as the speed continues to increase. You can increase the speed of the crab by changing this number here. I can put here 10, and I can put here -10 to increase the speed of the crab. When I press the green flag again, yeah, it's a bit faster now. So that is what you can do. Now, let's go and work on the enemy or the food to ensure that if the enemy touches the crab, okay, you lose lives. Your lives go down, down, down from 3 to 2 to 1. That is the whole idea, from 3 to 2 to 1 when you touch the pufferfish or the enemy. So the codes for the pufferfish will start with in events when green flag is clicked as the first one. When green flag is clicked, then we are going to use go to X and go to Y also. Go to X and go to Y also. So go to motion, pick, go to X because we want it to fall the same way. Go to X because it will be falling just the same way as the food. Go to X 180 and Y 180. Then forever in control, pick forever so that it can go on without an end. The same thing in motion, pick, change Y by 10, but change that 10 to speed because we want it to fall the same way. The more you play the game, the faster it will be falling. That's why we are changing Y by speed. Remember, Y is up and down, so the distance of falling down. Now we'll have a condition. If then will be our condition. So we'll come here and in events, pick if then, put it inside forever, and also in operators the same thing, less than. So if then less than. So now if Y position, which is in a control, if Y position is less than, if Y position, that one, if Y position is less than -135, then hide, because you are going to do the same thing in looks. You hide, then wait in control, just the same thing, wait, and then go to operators, pick random 1 to 3, pick random 1 to 3. Then the next one is because the enemy has different costumes, as you can see. Let's just switch to another costume so that you know the enemy is a bit different. Go to looks, pick next costume, then it will show up. Put show so that it can appear. Then go to X, which is in motion, as the last thing, because we want it to fall randomly. Let me stop it. Go to X, which is in motion. Go to X, then go to operators and pick a random. Pick random. So go to X, pick random, negative 200 to 220. Y, negative 180. Now that is just what we require for the puff fish. It's also falling the same way, and we are supposed to avoid it, but now when it touches you, nothing happens. So we need to code the idea of what happens when it touches you. Okay, what happens when it touches you? So we are going to go to the crab. We're going to go to the crab. Then we are going to add a few codes. The first one, let me use when green flag is clicked to start the coding. When green flag is clicked, then we are going to use forever. Let's use forever. Then we are going to use if then, like that. Then we are going to go to in a control. Then picking not in code. We'll also go to variable, but now we go to, because we have one enemy, if touching, so we are going to do if touching, if in sensing, if touching who? Enemy. So when it touches the enemy, then we are going to change the lives by 1. But before we get to where we can change the lives by 1, we need to go to our backdrop, because our backdrop will add some new codes for our backdrop. But before we add the new codes for the backdrop, we are going to create a message for what happens when these ones get to 0. So what will happen when your enemy hits you, then the score gets to, the lives gets to 0. So for that, we are going to do when it touches the enemy, then go to operators, then we are going to change the lives by -1. Just that, -1, so that you will know. Now we are going to broadcast a particular message called fail, so that when or just leave it that way. But now the lives will only reach at 0, but nothing will happen for now. When it reaches to 0, nothing will happen for now. We are supposed to broadcast a message that when it is broadcast, that message when broadcast, it will stop everything. So when it reaches to 0, it should stop everything. But for now, let's use that one there so that it can have a sense. So it's just a minimalist game, though it will not end, but when you get it to 0, you will know what to do. So when you touch, yeah, their lives gets to -2.